All right, now we continue part two, the second portion dealing with the so-called uh, replenishment. Instead of using uh, distribution center, actually our logic here is called warehouse. So we call it warehouse replenishment a little bit. So basically we send our order from last time, we transfer our order to the input of a server fulfill store order portion, which is this part. And the moment we uh, get to this portion, and we can specify, like before, the processing for the local order, replenish order time. In our homework, we probably don't have this, okay? And also, there is a so-called time path. We can specify how long it takes for order after they uh, be placed with the warehouse, how long the transportation from the warehouse to the local store is going to be, and therefore this is also 0, and you can customize this example later on. The only thing is when they go to this so replenishment replenishment portion, okay, replenishment portion. Sorry, couldn't type today. Replenishment server to over here. Originally, we're running a process actually update, and you can also using this server to process how long it takes to unload or process into the local store. Here's 0 also. So I kind of map whatever our example is into our homework. Our homework is much simpler case in here. The only thing is after processing, okay, after the processing, we would need to run that process used to be. And this process we're going to call uh, after process at we call replenishment server after process. Okay. Here we do two things. One thing we do is we want to update the local store inventory. So here we have update the local store inventory. Instead of using 1, now I'm going to use model entity. Actually, we can have model entity and store number. Great. And get this. Okay. By the model entity order amount. Order amount is the order quantity I specified it over here. Order quantity over here. Okay. Either it's the local order quantity or it's the warehouse, whatever warehouse stock we have. In fact, I can actually transfer this into here as well before. So we can either have this assignment here, okay, and directly go to transfer, or we can have the other way around. So it doesn't really matter where you have it because this is from before the source and this is when they reach to the end. And the transfer didn't take any time. So I will say in this case, I will probably do it over here. Okay. And then once I subtract those, determine the order amount, then I put it over So either way will be fine. Here we're trying to do is update the order amount. Wait a second. Yes. And for this, what I need to do is actually I need to change the status order. Okay. It should be store or reorder. Wait a second. Should be I will need to actually update this. New value equal to false, which means I finished my replenish order with the warehouse. So I turn it back to the false. So the next order showed up if it's still not satisfied the inventory criteria, lowest inventory criteria, I can. Next things we need to do is we set up how to do the replenishment in the warehouse. We know this before, how we do this. We're going to set up a monitor element, okay, monitor elements. So monitor basically is monitor for warehouse replenishment, okay, call this. And actually here we call it state variable name is basically warehouse stock. Sorry, warehouse stock. Okay, and cross certain level to the from positive to the negative, initial threshold level to be warehouse reordering point. If the warehouse stock is lower than that, we trigger this. Okay, so we've done this before in homework 3 in this case. Once and then we create a generic process triggered by this trigger event called monitor warehouse replenishment. Okay, so triggered by this warehouse condition, and what we do is basically we can set up like there's several ways to do this. You can actually using this monitoring event like we had it before, create another source and sync and link with the time path, and the source basically triggered by certain event, and this event we'll call monitor warehouse, and doing like this, okay? And this time pass represents the delay, and in our case will be travel time will be hundreds to 200s hour. Okay, we can do that. All right. Or we can use this as a so-called delay process in this replenishment center. We can use that as part of the processing time. Okay. Uh, Sorry, it's not a processing time. It's the delay time. We can actually set up a delay right here. with that. So we have several ways to do this. Okay, we're using this many hours as the so-called lead time for the warehouse replenishment. And once this replenishment is done, we're going to uh, basically see the warehouse inventory got replenished. So I'm going to add it to here. First, we're going to check the warehouse stock. So here's warehouse stock equals to warehouse stock plus the model entity. Oh, sorry, plus the warehouse order quantity. Or you can implement such as the so-called order up to level quantity. All right, so this is very, and then you can say counter how many order you have and so on and so forth. And those are the things you can add it here. So how many warehouse order you have total for total processing. And this event is triggered by the monitor. Okay, you can see that. So there are several different ways to implement the same thing. Um, this way using the way you did it in Homework 3 is more visualized. Okay, you can actually, once it's reached to the end, you replenish the inventory. Okay, you replenish the inventory, and you can actually run that certain process. Okay, telling to the end, and you can actually tell them to run this process one, basically. Okay, um, so several different ways to implement the same thing. I'm just giving you some suggestion. Of course, this part uh, even though I kind of finished most of them, and a lot of detail I have left off and didn't discuss. You will see some of the issue you need to adjust according to that. But I'm going to leave this to you to finish. Again, one detail I haven't revealed is this. If the order coming through here uh, meaning the refrigerator got fulfilled. And if this is, uh, if the inventory, local inventory is 0, then you gonna lost the sales. So the link weight on these two links connector, you need to be consider how to set it up, and also you need to use so-called make sure you're using bilink weight. I see a lot of students forgot to this part. The transfer no has to be transferred by link weight every time you have two possible destination. And what is the condition you use on this link? That's another uh, detail I left out, not implemented in this demo tutorial. So I'm going to finish this and let you finish the rest for this problem. Again, I'm trying to say this, it's just one suggestion how I'm going to implement it. Um, but it is, I, I've seen many different implementation possibility, and you can actually, uh, if you already implement a certain way, don't try to be change the entire structure just to match my implementation. My implementation is just something come up very intuitively. I do that, and maybe your thinking approach is slightly different, which is perfectly fine. All right.